What if I told you I could save you time so you can have time to create that YouTube channel, create all of the videos and shorts you have to publish, as well as still have time for your friends, your family, your 9 to 5, your client work, your freelance work, whatever the case may be. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework I use as a busy freelancer to create 5 short videos a week and 1 long form video a week. Let's chat about it. How do tech lovers, entrepreneurs, and busy freelancers stay productive without drowning in bad tech, apps, or chaos? That's the question, and this YouTube channel will give you the answers. My name is Nick, and this is Let's Chat Tech with Nick. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, and this is Let's Chat Tech with Nick. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm in no way, shape, or form a YouTube expert. I just reached the 1,300 follower mark as of filming this video. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love what I'm doing and I'm not learning as I go. I'm learning every single video and every single short I put out, I learn a little bit more. I learn some tricks, some tips, some hacks, things to make the process a little bit better, a little bit easier, and make my content a little bit better for you. This is how I create content as a busy freelancer and still have time for everything else and still learn as I go. So I'm going to talk about the framework I use every single week to create 5 YouTube shorts as well as a YouTube video. Let's dive right in. Now, believe me, I understand all of the pain points. I understand the frustration first getting started. You may feel imposter syndrome. You may worry about what others think. And you also may worry, I don't have time to write all these scripts and do all of the editing and all of that. Now, believe me, in this framework, you could do that in only 8 hours a week, 12 hours a week, whatever the case may be. However much time you have, this framework will fit to that time frame that you have per week to create all of this content. And this is a framework I first learned from a creator by the name of Ali Abdaal. Not only is he a YouTube creator with well over 1 million followers, he's a productivity expert and wrote a book called Feel Good Productivity, as well as he was a doctor in the ER. So an incredibly smart man, and he knows exactly what he's doing. So I took this framework, tweaked it to make it my own, and that's exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video. So first things first, now that you're ready and willing to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you have a YouTube channel but you want to be a little more consistent, the first thing you have to remember is if you are just getting started, don't worry about making it perfect. Just worry about starting the process and getting videos uploaded. Each and every video you put up, you're going to get a little bit better. And when I look back at my first few videos, they are absolutely terrible. To the point, even the YouTube trailer I put up a few months ago, I already want to recreate that because it's not nearly as good as what I'm doing now. Not to say what I'm doing now is perfect. I still have a lot of growing and a lot of learning to do, but just start and get those videos up. So the first question you have to ask yourself is how much time do you have to allot to making YouTube videos? You could have a 9 to 5. You could be a busy freelancer like I am with client work. You want to dedicate time to your friends, to your family. So how much time are you willing to put in to creating videos? So start out by writing down on a piece of paper or in Notion, whatever the case may be, how much time can you allot? Can you allot 8 hours a week? Can you put in 12 hours a week? Now, obviously, the more the better, but let's focus on creating 1 YouTube video a week with only 8 hours to do that. So let's get into the first step in the framework. Now, the first step in the framework is the idea phase. Now, this isn't something that I allot a specific time to. This is something that's always ongoing. And how I collect and store all of my ideas for YouTube videos is I use Notion. Now, with my Z Fold 4, I have a widget on my home screen and it automatically creates a note. So when I'm out and about, if I have an idea, topic A for YouTube video, I hit the widget, it goes right into my Notion database, into my planning inbox. From there, I can store that into the projects area using the Para system, and then I can store that into my Notion planning database. So whether that be writing things down on a piece of paper, using a spreadsheet, Samsung Notes, whatever it is, start jotting down all of the ideas you see. And this could be while you're watching YouTube, while you're watching TikTok, or just out and about and an idea pops in your head. Just start collecting all of that information, all of those ideas. Once you have the idea and you're ready to get started making a video with one of them, that's when we move on to the next step. Now, this next step is hook, thumbnail, and caption. So this is something I learned from Ali Abdaal and something from Sean Carroll from Think Media, another huge platform teaching you how to create YouTube videos and get better along the way. Now, both Ali and Sean talked about starting your video by creating your hook and creating the thumbnail. For me, I create the caption, the tags, everything else to start. This first step gives you everything you need to know and everything that you're going to want to talk about in that video. And for me, it makes the script writing process so much easier. Now, you can use tools like vidIQ to help you along the way. You could jot in the idea that you want, and vidIQ actually gives you ideas right then and there. You could just search and scroll through all of the topics they have, and it kind of ties into your YouTube channel, so it gives you ideas that you're already talking about. So once you create that thumbnail, and I use Canva for that, once you create your hook, you could use something like vidIQ to help with that, the caption, the tags. Then it's time to get into the next step, and that's actually writing your script. Now we're ready to start writing our script. Now, I loosely based my script off of two frameworks from Russell Brunson. First is the hook story offer framework. The second is the perfect webinar. Basically, you want to have a hook, something that will capture your audience's attention right away and want them to stay watching the video. Next up, a little bit of an intro, a backstory, talking about a pain point, something like that, and then getting into delivering the value of the video. After that, you're going to want to leave a call to action. Now, it doesn't have to be an offer. It could be something as simple as feel free to like, subscribe, wink, wink, and leave a comment, something like that. It's something simple, but that's the framework to get started. Now, when it comes to writing scripts, I'm going to make a full video after this one going into a deep dive of how I actually write my scripts. But for me, I use Samsung Notes to record my voice speaking about what I want to talk about in the video. And then using a prompt in Gemini, I'll take that transcript, throw it into Gemini, and it'll spit out a rough draft of the script. And then I could throw it into my Notion planner and tweak it as I see fit. This saves me a ton of time when it comes to creating my scripts. So if you want to get that template for the prompts I use, I'll put that in the description below, but stay tuned for the next video. It'll be the one after this, and I'll take a deep dive into how to use Samsung Voice and use Gemini to create much better scripts, saving a ton of time. This next step is probably what I find most fun. This is the filming stage. Now, you don't need to have fancy cameras, fancy lighting right off the hop. All you need is your cell phone, maybe a ring light, a lamp, whatever the case may be, as long as you get going and get started with video. For me personally, I'm using a 5-year-old cell phone. I'm using my Samsung S20 FE. I use the back camera to film, but that's an old phone that I'm using to film. As far as lighting, I have an old Bristol board that I bought at the dollar store, hooked to a pole with the ring light facing that and having the light bounce off. So I don't have the super big ring right in my glasses. You can kind of still see it, but again, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and eventually I'll get a better setup, but that's how I use. for me to see myself on camera, since I'm using the back camera and I'm in the Samsung ecosystem, I use Samsung Flow. So on my monitor right here, I have my phone basically with the camera app open so I can see that I'm framed properly where I want to be, and then the camera between my two monitors. It's super simple. You could even use programs like OBS, and there's a whole handful of others if you want to use your phone or a webcam, but you don't have to go big and over the top. All you have to do is get your phone, put it on a tripod, even if it's the front-facing camera, just hit record and start filming your videos. Now this next step, the last big step, is the biggest step, and that's editing your videos. Now, you could use a whole handful of different apps. If you're comfortable with editing on your phone, you could use CapCut, you could use InShot. LumaFusion is something that I used in the past with InShot. And more recently, in the last year or so, I use a program called Shotcut. It's a free app for your Windows computer, and I guess it's on Mac as well, but it's an open sourced free video editor that allows you to add different layers, sounds, tons of transitions, and it's super easy to put all of your clips into the app and then drag them down to the timeline and edit as you go. And my editing isn't perfect, but again, I'm learning as I go. So as you get more comfortable with using apps, say like CapCut or InShot, eventually you can move into something like Shotcut or one of the other more expensive platforms, something from Adobe or whatever the case may be. But this is going to be the biggest time you're going to block out for this. And the last step, actually publishing your video. Now, you could film and publish it right away. YouTube gives you a lot of analytics so you can see when the best time to post is, as well as vidIQ. I personally use a scheduling platform for my other content, and I use that to see when my best times are. So for me though, I like to schedule my content out. I like to upload the video, put in a good headline, my description, my tags, add a previous video at the end of my video, and then I like to schedule it out. For me, my best time of the week is on Thursdays, typically anywhere between noon and 4 p.m. So I keep an eye on when that is, but I like to keep a consistent schedule, posting videos every single Thursday. So when it comes to actually blocking that time out to create these videos, for the idea phase, like I said, that's something that's typically ongoing for me. Now, the second phase is getting the headline, the caption, the hook, all of that. Typically, I'm gonna block out roughly around an hour to maybe 2 hours to get that accomplished. Now, for me, I block out 1 hour for writing the script, and that's only because I use Samsung Voice as well as Gemini to easily and quickly get out a rough draft before I get in and start tweaking it. You could adjust maybe 1 hour for the hook, the headline and thumbnail, and then 2 hours for writing the script, whatever works best for you. Then when it comes to filming, I block out an hour for that. It doesn't usually take that long. Typically for me, I'll record 5 shorts in a YouTube video. So in and around half hour, 40 minutes, maybe an hour at absolute most, but I block that time out. The next step in this is editing your video. You can block up to about 4 hours for that whole process. It might take you a little bit longer at the very beginning, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to get, and it should take you 4 hours, 3 hours, something like that. And then getting the video up. And that's it. From using my quick caption and capturing all my ideas in Notion, you could use whatever method that you would like, to creating the thumbnail using Canva, to the headline, the hook, the caption, should take you about an hour, then on to another hour to write the script, maybe an hour to film, a few hours to edit, and then publish your video. Super simple, super quick. What I'll do is I'm gonna put in 2 links into the description of this video. First, I'm gonna give you the prompts I use to take the transcript from Samsung Voice and put that into Gemini to help me create my scripts. And there's also one that you can create a newsletter with as well. There'll be more on that in next week's video. And I'll also put my YouTube planning template from Notion in the description below as well. So if you got any value from this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you on the next video.